good morning, good morning. Hello, world. Hello, Jessica. So here we are this morning, coming at you live all over the place and also on play later on the podcast. So I want to say a great big welcome to Jessica Cook, who has joined me from her amazing company, Definance, this morning. Just to give a little bit of a precursor, I'm going to let Jessica tell you about herself, but the purpose of these get-togethers is to bring experts from all different specialisms, all different sectors, all together. We don't talk about how mental health affects in separate sectors together often enough. So this is what the purposes of this is. I'm a health coach. I coach neurodiversity. I coach anybody who is struggling with anxiety and overwhelm, and I like to call it life management coaching. What I do find is when I coach people, I find that there's elements in their lives that affect them that I cannot coach them on. So my mission in this is to bring other experts into the arena to offer advice, any help. Let's get the discussion flowing that can then help my clients. At the end of the day, for me, it is about the bigger picture. So let's get talking, get everything covered, and get helping. So that's my mission. So welcome, Jessica. I am so happy to have you here. Tell us about Definance.
Thank you. Oh, I love that. I'm like, there are so many things in there that I already went, oh, we need to talk about that. So Definance offers financial coaching for women, and it's about getting you confident and getting you understanding your money in a way that is aligned with your values and your goals. And I'll tell you what, Helen, like when I started off, I was saying, I just want to teach women, like, here are the fundamentals that you need to know to be able to manage your money. But as I've progressed more and more, it's about understanding the beliefs that are holding you back, and the mindset around it, and the emotional factors and the mental health factors. And it's become more and more obvious that the intersection between these two areas is so important. It's not just about learning how to manage your budget or start an investment portfolio. It's about how we can change our attitudes and beliefs and values when it comes to money in a way that is more aligned for us. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I see the crossover all the time, and
You would.
it is massively intertwined. I mean, like money's a huge thing, and it's something that people are either just going to be comfortable with and they're going to have enough and want to develop that in the way of like effective investing and stuff like that, or people are then plunged into a world of uncertainty and stress in their lives because of an uncertain future with regards to finance, or there never seems to be quite enough, or not being living from day to day, living month to month instead of being able to flourish with money. And I think it creeps then into all other areas of life, because when you don't feel abundant and you don't feel like you have enough, or are able to cope financially, then that affects you. I mean, we see it in all different kinds of ways, don't we? People then I know it's another big subject that people don't necessarily talk about publicly, but that then, if that can lead to things like alcohol and drug addiction, stuff like that. You've got the elements of wanting to then get away from it. So in an escapism away from having to think about the money all the time. If it affects so many people in so many different ways, and I am not qualified to help people on a financial basis. Yeah, I see the ramifications of people not understanding their financial situation all the time, and that's partly why I wanted to bring you in today and just have a good old chinwag about it, and allow people the opportunity to go, okay, so here's two people here who together can potentially answer some questions for us. So it's knowing that there's people out there that you can ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
One that struck me about you, Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to blow your trumpet now. I'm just going to warn you
Oh,
in advance.
do it. I love a bit of trumpet blowing.
Um, it was the non-judgmental aspect of your coaching. You know, personally, for all you guys out there watching, for anybody who watches it on the replay, um, I've actually had some financial coaching with Jessica. I have to say, like, what an amazing experience it was, and has genuinely changed the way that I view money in my life. But it was the fact that it wasn't. I'm trying to choose my words wisely, but what the hell? There's no stuffiness. You
No.
know, that
Yeah.
that I've associated with stress in the past. But you made it fun. You made it like accessible. You didn't like use terminology that I just thought I have no idea what that woman's talking about. I understood everything. You made it easy.
Yeah. And like one of my core values is uncomplicated, which is an overly complicated word for saying simple, but I think simple diminishes our capacity. But why it doesn't have to be complicated. And I think so many people, particularly women and other minorities, well, not that women are minorities, but we've been excluded from money because we've been told that it's too complicated, it's too difficult, it's only particular people have the skill set or the knowledge to be able to do this. And it drives me insane because we should all have access to money. And as soon as you get money, you get power, and you have choice and you have freedom. And this really shouldn't be left to, who is that currently sitting with at the moment. Like, and I want to change that. I want all of us to have access to money, because when you have money, you're not only releasing this burden of stress that you might have been carrying around with you, but you're also, I mean, we can talk about this. We talk about how women use their money in such a beautiful way. They're not just using it for themselves, they're using it to help their families and help their friends and help their community. And then we create this gorgeous world, which helps us all in the long run, because we're creating real change there.
Absolutely, and like, not that I thought in recent times that I'd be having conversations about investment, but we caught a couple of weeks ago speaking about ethical investing and investing in sustainable companies and investing in
Yeah.
companies you really truly believe in. It's much more foundational. It's much more you can actually feel very connected to
Yeah.
money, which was something I didn't really appreciate before.
Yeah.
I feel a definite um, connection to money now rather than a disconnection. Does that
Mhm.
make
Yeah, because we've aligned it to your values. And I think so often when we think about money, we think of it as stressful or greedy or selfish. But, that's because we have poor examples in society. But when you actually slow down and learn the foundations, and how you can use it in your life in a way that's aligned with your values, all of a sudden it becomes way more intuitive, and you're now using money in a way that helps you and helps others and is aligned with your values, and that just absolutely changes your perspective on it.
absolutely? What would you say to someone who was coming in from a position where they currently struggle financially at the moment to make ends meet? So
Hmm.
using Peter to pay Paul and living in that kind of way. I mean, I know obviously the coaching that I've received from you. allowed me to then be able to budget effectively and
Mhm.
save and do all of those things. I think it's important to bring the message out to people who feel, oh, well, I'm nowhere near any of those things that they're talking about right now. I haven't got the money to be investing in things and stuff like that. That it's important to start somewhere and
Yes.
learn about not to be afraid of your current situation, but to use the information, feel informed, and to have a plan of knowing where to go if you are struggling. What would you say to those people?
When we don't learn about money, like, it's something that we're not taught in school. But it is something that's in our lives all the time, and it affects every single thing that we do, whether we want it to or not. So hiding from it's not really going to benefit you in any way. But you can learn it. It is a learnable skill. And that's why I like to keep it as uncomplicated as possible, because it makes it easier to learn it. Um, and start small, exactly what you said. You don't have to like rush out and start an investment portfolio in something complicated next week. But what you can do is I love starting with quick wins. So what can you do today? What can you do in the next hour that'll move you forward? And start building that money momentum, because you can do things like set up an automated savings account. You can have a look at your bank account, just open it up and have a glance at it if you're too, if previously it's made you really uncomfortable to do that. You can put an extra £20 on your credit card. These are small actions that you can do, which just sort of make you feel like you're a bit more in control of your money, and you can start moving forward from there. And I mean, we saw it with you, Helen, if if I can. We started off, and you were saying things like, "I've got." Can I? I've got no money. There's no money at the end of the month. I don't know where it's all going, and you just didn't have any clarity over it. So actually, sitting down and looking at your bank account and seeing where your money is going, and how, and if this is aligned with what you want, like, do you want to be spending this much money on um, shoes or takeaways or holidays? I mean, if you do, that's fine. This is what a budget's all about. It's about deciding what's important to you. And then, within a couple of weeks, all of a sudden you were just going, oh my God, I've got money. I've done this. I've done this. I've moved forward, because you actually understood your money and you could see where it was going and deciding if that's actually where you wanted it to go. Um, and
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's so bizarre to think that was ever that was ever me now. So
oh, yeah,
it really genuinely, when you stop sort of existing with money and start actually thriving with money, stuff genuinely does change. And I know people who are in that position are going to be going, well, it's not like that for me. It's not going to change like that for me. Like, genuinely, it really can change like that for you. And all you've got
yeah,
to do is allow the knowledge in.
yeah. And
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 makes
people
a
say
change.
it's not like that for me, but I have not met a single person who has gone through their budget and been completely up to speed with it and not found a subscription that they went, "Oh, I thought I canceled that 6 months ago," or, that they're spending way more than they thought they were on Uber Eats. It's absolutely incredible, because everyone's like, "I know what I'm doing with my money." And then they get in there, and the next week they go, "Oh my God, you'll never believe what I found when I went through. You did this, didn't you? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm spending this much money on this. Oh God." And then all of a sudden you've got that extra £50 or £100 or whatever it may be, that you can then start using to clearing off your credit card debt faster, building up an emergency fund, or which will give you that stability and security that you need. Or if you're already in a solid position there, you can start investing and really growing your wealth for the future. And that's all it takes, is cancelling a couple of those subscriptions, and reevaluating how much you want to be spending on impulse buying, or unnecessary things that don't add spark to your life, because everything's about adding. Don't spend your money. You're working hard for this money. Don't spend your money on things that you don't care about. Allocate it to things that actually bring joy to your life and make your future better. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that is the perfect link into then that once you start doing that, once you start making those changes and becoming more aware and making those positive choices,
Mm.
then the effect on your mental health is huge. If
Yeah.
you're going to bed at night going, everything's okay, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
there's nothing worse. I can imagine for a lot of people, there's nothing worse than going to bed at night wondering how you're going to pay the next bill.
Mm-mm.
That
Yeah.
that that is keep you awake at night territory, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
So simply just doing these things, following a plan, becoming aware, it,
Mm-hmm.
it improves your sleep quality. If it improves nothing else, it improves, the state of your mental health. It improves your productivity because you're not then distracted and away thinking about, all the worries that you have. It and this is why it's so important that we have these conversations, that we have these cross
Yes.
conversations. And I was saying this to my guest, James, who was on with me a fortnight ago. We need to be talking about these things. We need to be crossing over our little boundary threshold, coping thresholds, and speaking to each other. And this is where the magic happens. This is where we get the true results for
Yeah.
clients that, I can do, like all of the things that I can do, and like massively improve people's lives. But if there's just that bit to do with money, or just that bit
Yeah.
to do with something else that I'm not qualified in, then they're never going to be fully whole to move forward.
Mm-mm. And
Right?
yeah, I mean, we hear things like money is more taboo than sex. Money is more taboo than death. Like, people just don't talk about it. And I mean, if you've ever had a conversation with a colleague where you say, "How much do you earn?" Boom, absolute shutdown. But these are hugely important conversations, particularly as women, because we are dealing with things like pay inequity. But just breaking it down and having conversations, breaking down that taboo. I now talk to all of my friends about money, and it's just little tips and tricks that you can give. And I mean, you were an amazing example where, you started off and you were saying, "Oh, I'm not in control of my money. I don't know where it's going." And then I think it was like 4 weeks in, you were giving the other women in the group the tips on how to manage their money. And I was like, well, I think my work here is done, because and it happened in such a short time. It absolutely blew my mind that you're going from, feeling like this is something taboo or shameful or creating anxiety, and then and then you're at the point where you're now leading a discussion and telling other people about products that can help them move forward in their financial journey. And I mean, just breaking that down so that we are comfortable talking about it. It's not something that we should be ashamed of. It's not something we should have anxiety about. And I think, when we talk about money, intuitively we have this anxiety when it comes to it. But um, it's one of those things that you stress more about it than actually doing it. So you can worry for weeks about opening up your bank account, and then you open it up and you go, "Oh, all right, it's not so bad, and I can now see the things that I'm spending my money on that I value or I don't value. I've got um, there's a positive number in there, so I'm not in absolute crisis. And but that worry that comes beforehand, like investing, you know, everyone stops still and goes, oh, I don't know how to do this. It's all too big. It's all too stressful. But you can, like you said, we can break it down into these small steps, make it value aligned, and start doing it. And then all of a sudden, you're just opening yourself up to this amazing world of opportunity, and releasing all of that baggage that you've been carrying. And it is like that, we do physically change when we have this freedom, because you've got the choice of how you spend your money in an aligned way. Yeah.
Absolutely. Procrastination is just a
Ah,
big progress killer, is it not?
yeah,
And
it is.
we do it in a lot of aspects of
Confidence killer as well, because the longer that you wait, the more stressed you're going to get, and think, "Oh, I can't do this." And, it will be more challenging if you've never looked at your budget before. It will take a little bit of time to get it going. But, once you've got a habit built, and this is a lot of what I do is about building habits, is, instead of looking at your budget and thinking, oh, this is going to take me ages to work out, you'll be looking at your budget and updating it in 10 minutes a week or something like that, or building an investment portfolio and saying, all right, I did all that work at the beginning, I understand what I'm doing, and now I'm just going to let it run and grow and set me up for my retirement. So yeah. it,
it can be a remarkable change, that's for
mm.
sure.
And it
And
and it is consistently, like, this is the thing that absolutely blows my mind. Like, I always remember seeing you at the beginning, and 3 weeks later you were saying, "So, here's what I've done." And I've seen this time and time again, and it blows my mind how quickly it happens. And if you're open to it and you're ready to move forward and you're enthusiastic about it and you've realized it's time to make a change, that change can be transformational, and it can be so rapid, and it's
I
gorgeous to watch. Yeah.
genuinely, I see that all the time in my area of coaching as
Yeah.
well, and being able to, as a coach, and I know that you get this, being able to witness that change in someone is like, whoa, like, who even is that now? They're just like totally different pair. I love that feeling. It's like, so that's what keeps me coaching. I'm like, oh, I need to see this more.
And I've
Um,
watched you do it multiple times. Like, we had a conversation about investing a couple of weeks ago, where we started the session and you were saying, no, this isn't for me. I'm just taking in the information. It's all too much. And then it was seriously like 45 minutes later, you go, so how much am I going to be investing next week? And I mean, this rapid transformation that comes when you're suddenly, I think it's like given permission to learn and understand and take it at a pace that works for you. Um, it,
Absolutely. And for anyone watching this either live or on the replay, we give you permission to make progress in this area. Like, if you needed to have permission from anywhere, Jessica and I give you permission right now.
yeah.
Do something. Take a big deep breath. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Do something. Just do it.
Yes. And you can do it. And we want you to. I mean, like, this is what we do. I want you to be successful. Um, Otherwise, what am I here for? But to make you successful and do it in a way that works for you, that is peaceful and aligned for you. Yeah.
I love that you said peaceful. I love that you said that, because I probably would never have put money and peaceful in the same sentence before.
Oh, but
I can't now.
we're talking about mental health, and this is the thing: is like, once we can talk about money stress, we can talk about the anxiety, the stress, the lack of sleep. the potential damage to relationships that it causes. But then the other side of that is when you relieve it, when you know that you're sleeping better, you've cleared your credit card debt, you know that you've got the safety blanket of a security fund, you know that you're working towards your future, with investments or whatever it is that suits you, that you know what you're going to need to retire comfortably. That's when all of a sudden you've gone from this financial stress to financial freedom. And you're like, yeah, I can do this. And yeah, it is peaceful. You live in a state of peace. You're not constantly worrying about how you're going to pay your next bill. You're not worrying about where how you're going to retire and if you can retire, and if your car breaks down, how are you going to be able to pay for that, because you've got these steps in place. And yeah, of course it's peaceful. I mean, oh, I love it.
Right. And who doesn't want to be in that place?
No, not me. I want to be in it. Yeah.
You've got a masterclass coming up, am I right?
I am. I'm doing a free masterclass on Thursday. It's called the Money Magic Masterclass. And this is, oh, well done. She knows all about it. So this is on Thursday evening. And if you go to my website, which we can drop in, Helen can do it because she's a wizard. Um, there's a registration form there. And in there, we will be talking about how we can make money joyful, make our lives better, help us live the lives that we want and get that freedom that we want. And everything that I do is uncomplicated, and it's also really practical. I want you to be walking away feeling like Helen after 3 sessions, upright, confident, knowing that you can move forward. It's all about small steps that take you forward. I saw someone post today, it was like a ladder, and it had one person climbing up a ladder with these small steps and another person climbing up a ladder with these huge steps that were out of reach. I don't want to be that second ladder. It's all about taking those small steps that get you forward. I'm totally stealing this.
Yeah, absolutely. It you can use that principle to move forward in every single aspect of your life, regardless of what your goals are, whether your goals are to improve your nutrition, to improve your fitness, to improve your mental health, to improve your financial situation, what to improve your career aspirations, whatever your
Yeah,
goals are in life, the true key to all of that is to take action of some sort.
yeah,
And like you were saying, Jessica, those little steps are absolutely, every single one of those steps is a step in the right direction. And even if it takes you off on a bit of a detour, you're detouring the right way.
yeah.
And
You're moving forward. You're moving forward.
and there will always be things, won't there, in life that will come along and hit you from the side and what have you. But all of these things that you do to progress will help you be more resilient.
Yeah, yeah,
And then support, and you're then able to support other people, which is magic, because when you can help others, you're also helping yourself, which is,
yeah.
part of the reason why anyone who is in any form of coaching sector, that's why we do it. It helps us to help other people as well. So
Because and yeah, and I mean the phrase that I use repeatedly, which it's my favorite, is the more money you have, the more good you can do. You're not helping anyone by staying poor. You're not helping anyone by staying stressed or anxious. But when you can take control of your money, you can understand it, you can use it in a way that's aligned and beneficial and grows your wealth, then you are in this place where you're helping yourself, you're living a life that's beautiful, but you're also and creating this world that's gorgeous, but you're also then helping your friends in your family. And a lot of this becomes generational, because I think what I've spoken to you about, you will now speak to your family about and your friends about. And we're paying it forward. We're lifting up the entire community with what we're doing here. And you're doing that in your space as well. We're opening up the world. It's going to be gorgeous.
Isn't it just? And you know what? I don't even think I need to add anything to that, to be quite honest. Can you believe that that has just been half an hour? That's insane.
No, I cannot. I was thinking, half an hour. What are we going to talk about?
So, guys, get on Jessica's website, and if you're seeing this in time to be at that masterclass, please
Yeah.
do take a peek. And yeah,
And
thank you
it's
so much.
free because we love giving away some stuff.
Absolutely, we do love giving away some stuff. And yeah, thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you for joining me today. It's been absolutely invaluable and a pleasure as always.
Absolutely. You are absolutely welcome. I'm so happy because there is such, exactly what you said, there's such a crossover between these topics, and being aware of that and helping to shift forward is, what we're here for. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's go do it. Let's go take over the world. That's what we're going to do. Thank you guys. I'm sure you'll see Jessica again at some point. Go check her out, and we'll speak to you all soon.
Bye bye.